Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Melissa Bache. I will do a bit a longer introduction about myself and our speaker today. Whilst we wait for all webinar participants to join us. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Melissa Bache. I will do a bit a longer introduction to mute this. Okay, so by the way, we're also testing a new feature today, which is that we're also live broadcasting this webinar on YouTube. We're not going to, broadcast all of it, but the first part of the presentation. So as we're waiting for more participants to join in, I just want to reintroduce the topic for today. We're going to be talking about our Masters in Data Science in the Graduate School of Sciences and Engineering at Koç University in Istanbul, Turkey. As we allow more participants to join, we will also run a very short poll for 1 minute just to know who is here, who is joining us today. Okay. If you hear in the background a crying baby, that is my baby. He's 5 months old, so I do apologize. We were trying to make sure he would be during his quiet time, but if not, please know that that's the reason. So as I was saying before, my name is Melissa Bache. I'm the Director of International Student Recruitment here at Koç University. And it is my pleasure to be hosting today Assistant Professor Barish Agun, who is from our Department of Computer Engineering here at Koç University, and he's also the lead faculty member for a Master's in Data Science. So we're very lucky to have him today to, as the title of the webinar says, ask me anything. So let's ask him anything. We will have some parameters, of course, in terms of the type of questions that we would like you to ask to make the most of the time that we have today. We thank also all of you who are joining us both from Turkey and from outside of Turkey, especially those from outside of Turkey, because we know that there may be some big time differences. So I hope from wherever you're joining that it's not too early or too late for you in the day and that you make the most of today. So that's a little bit about us, and I will ask Professor Agun to introduce himself in more detail if he wishes once his turn comes up. But we want to know a little bit about you. So for that, I'm going to launch a short poll, and I will ask you to please complete it in the next minute or so, just to let us know, for example, if you are here in Turkey or outside of Turkey, if you are currently in your undergraduate or bachelor's degree, or if you're currently completing a master's program, a PhD program, or if you're currently working, or you're doing an internship as a full-time or part-time, or another situation. And what was your major or the major that you're currently studying, whether it's in computer science or computer engineering, another engineering major, mathematics, statistics, or a non-STEM related major. And for you, you might already have a very clear objective, or you might have already started your application for a program for admission in the spring 2021 semester, but some of you may be thinking longer term. So we just want to know the mix of the audience that we have today. Okay, so we have about 3 more seconds. Most of you have now voted. So I'm going to just wait a little bit more. Those of you, of course, you don't have to. This is completely voluntary. So thank you very much for those of you who have voted. So I'm going to end the poll now. We have 75% of you voted. I think that's good enough for today, okay? I'm going to share the results so that we can see. I hope you can see the results here. So, okay, so 60% of you are coming from outside of Turkey and 40% from Turkey. We have a mix of people. I think most of you are, currently in a master's program or in the last year of your undergraduate. Some of you are doing internships. 27% of you are or did study computer science or computer engineering or another engineering major. And most of you, I can see, were or are interested in starting the master program next spring. So, in a few months. We are now in December, so our spring semester starts in February. So that's not that far away. But some of you, 27% of you, are thinking of fall 2021 or also not sure. Okay, so thank you so much for letting us know. And during your questions, we will also get to know you more as participants. So what I wanted to do before we go into the question part is just to give you a very, very brief overview about Koç University for those of you especially coming from outside of Turkey that might not be familiar with our university. What you can see here is, quick facts and figures about us as a university. We're a young university that was set up in 1993, and our mission is to, be a center of excellence both for Turkey, the region, and worldwide, in which we're providing world-class education and creating new knowledge for the benefit of society. The way that we have been doing that so far is that we are a small university in terms of our student body, and we try to hire the best faculty members to teach those students and to produce research that will benefit not only Turkey but the whole world. For that, we provide a lot of support and infrastructure. So, for example, we have now 223 research laboratories across the university in different fields, and a lot of them are set up in a very interdisciplinary way, in the same way that we have research centers and research and education forums. The research at this university happens, of course, with the help of our PhD student, master students, and faculty, and they are structured around 4 graduate schools. In our Graduate School of Sciences and Engineering, we have these master programs that are offered on a thesis and non-thesis basis, and we have PhD programs. I just wanted to show you very briefly what are the different disciplines or areas that we offer here at the university, and to show you that our data science master program is within the Graduate School of Sciences and Engineering. It's a non-thesis program. And you can see the details of all of these programs on the website, and we will show the details at the end of the presentation. Just to give you, again, a quick recap, our PhD programs are very similar to American universities' PhD structure in that they're 4 years if you have completed a master's program, or 5 years if you have completed a bachelor's program, so that you can do a direct PhD option. And you can see there what are the requirements in terms of the number of courses, the minimum number of courses, credits, and the steps required. We have masters with thesis, which are 2 years. You can see there the number of courses, which they're called master with thesis because you do have to write a research thesis and other required non-credit courses. And you can see the details of what, there's, for example, training to be a teaching assistant, and other courses. The master non-thesis, like the one we're going to talk about today in data science, is to be completed in 3 semesters, and you have a minimum of 10 courses, which are 30 credits and a final project. So what I would like to do is that if you want to ask questions today from Professor Barış Agun about those courses, about the final project, about the faculty members, today is the day to do that, okay? I will talk briefly. This is something very nice for us, which is always featuring our alumni from the Graduate School of Sciences and Engineering. We have hundreds of alumni, but I just wanted to highlight today some of them who are now working in data science related positions, both outside of Turkey and inside of Turkey, in private, especially the private sector. So you can see some of them are working at brand names like Facebook and Apple, Toyota. So, but we have really alumni who are everywhere around the world. So that we're very proud of that. Very briefly, I'm going to talk about these master programs, admissions, the tuition and scholarships and deadlines. But again, all of this information, you can find it on the program website. You can see here the list of application requirements. The main thing is that you should have completed a bachelor's degree in engineering, science, or a related field, preferably in computer engineering or computer science. And Professor Barish will probably explain in more detail why that is. You should, if you're, for example, in the last year of a bachelor's program and you have not graduated yet, you will graduate, for example, in May or June next year, you can apply with the predicted grades that you have from your spring semester by the time you apply. The second item there is related to that. So, the transcripts of all the universities you have attended, showing your GPA and the courses you took. Two recommendation letters. I'm jumping to two bullet points for a reason. The statement of purpose, which is related to, as a motivation letter, why you want to take this master's program, and your CV. Now, the two items that I have highlighted in red here, which are related to standardized university or graduate program entry exams. One is the GRE, which is for international candidates, and one is ALES, which is for Turkish candidates. They may be requested depending on background, especially if you completed your major in a non-STEM field or not in computer engineering. You may be asked by the admissions committee to please, that's my favorite crime, so I apologize for that. You may be asked to provide a GRE or ALICE test score, just to make sure that for the admissions committee that you will have the ability to understand and cope with the very high level courses that are part of the program. And the second requirement is a valid English proficiency test score. This could be TOEFL, internet-based test. It could be CAE, Pearson, or in the case of Turkish applicants, YDS or EYDS. We know that because of COVID, there are still some countries where there are restrictions in terms of taking these exams, so that's okay. You may be conditionally accepted, but you still will need to provide that test by the time you enroll as a student at the university. Again, we know that you might have questions about this, but I do ask you to please write those questions to us via email so that we can provide you a detailed answer based on your specific situation, okay? For next year, for our spring 2021 admission, the deadline to apply is the 31st of December 2020 this year, so at the end of this month, through our online application system. And for the fall 2021 admission, the exact deadlines have not been announced yet, but they are usually on the middle of June. This year, they were extended because of the COVID-19 situation until September. We will see next year according to the situation, okay? We're aiming that for our non-thesis programs, we should be able to, provide a decision, whether that's acceptance or rejection, within 2 or 3 weeks after you have submitted your application. Now, when we look at, this is the last part for me, when we look at tuition and scholarships, our master's in data science, the tuition for the next academic year for 21-22 is 67,500 Turkish lira, which is approximately $8,600 at the current exchange rate between the Turkish lira and the dollar. Both national and international students pay the tuition in Turkish lira. We're just providing the equivalent number here in dollars so that you can have a reference also in your national currency. There are scholarships available based on academic merit. Those scholarships can be 25% or 50% discount on the tuition, but they do not include any other benefits other than a tuition discount. If you're one of our alumni from Koc University, there are also scholarships, and you can inquire directly with our Graduate School of Sciences and Engineering. A question that we often receive about our scholarships, it's whether a specific GRE score or a specific GPA or a specific level of experience can give you a scholarship. Unfortunately, we cannot answer those questions, not here, not by email, because it really depends on your specific profile as a candidate, and that's going to be evaluated by the admissions committee of the program, and they will take into account all elements of your application and not just one element. Okay, all right, so that's all from me. I hope I haven't taken too much of your time today, and I think we have more participants that have joined afterwards. So now I'm going to ask Professor Barish to please unmute his microphone so that you can introduce yourself, and then what I'm going to ask you all to do is to type your questions in the chat feature that you can see on your screens. And what we will do is, after Professor Barish has introduced himself, I will start reading the questions and asking Professor Barish to answer them. Does that sound good for everyone? So Professor Barish, I leave the floor to you.
Thanks, Mr. Bache, for this kind introduction. Let me see. Okay, I can't start my video, but that's fine. My name is Barış Akgun. I'm an assistant professor at Computer Engineering Department, Koç University. I have an interesting background. I actually have a mechanical engineering degree, BSc degree. I also did a mechatronics minor. I loved robots, and I realized I like programming them more than building them. So I switched to computer engineering in my master's, and I did a robotics PhD. Then came to Koç. This was under computer science and computer engineering. I was working on, applying artificial intelligence and machine learning methods to robots. When I came to Turkey, I also diversified a little bit, did more data science, applied machine learning projects, and now I do both robotics research and machine learning research. So that's sort of my story and why I am involved in this program. So with that, I think we can open the floor to questions. We have a few more backup slides if you need to. We can move back and forth.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm going to start checking the questions that people have started writing on the chat box. So there is a question here. If someone has done a bachelor's in information technology, do they qualify? Yes, I think that's the answer.
Yes, you
That's
do.
more of an admissions related question. Yeah.
I think it's in the
We
middle.
have another question about. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, I think it's in the middle. Information technology, it should qualify. Like it's both, you need to know a bit math and a bit programming. We also have fundamental courses, but it's always good to know these. So if you're coming from an IT background, we assume you have good programming skills and you qualify as long as you're willing to do the math related parts.
Okay. There's a question about scholarships. If there are any other full scholarships. We do have a master's in computer science and engineering, which is a thesis master. So for those, the requirements are the same as the ones that I showed before. But in that case, the GRE requirement it's quite necessary, in the sense that there is a lot of competition for those for both for admission and for the scholarship. So I invite you to please check the Graduate School of Sciences website and that Master's in Computer Science program. There is a question here, which is in French, and what I understand it's how can you be eligible if you don't have a certificate of English language? Unfortunately, as we said, like if it's because you cannot take the exam at the moment, you can explain that in the application form by saying that you don't have an English proficiency test yet. But if you are admitted on the basis of your other documents, so your CV, your motivation letter, your transcripts, grades, etc., then you will still be asked to provide an English proficiency certificate by the time you enroll, whether that's in the spring semester or in the fall semester. Let's see, there is a suggestion here, which is about the recommendation letters, saying students are applying for different universities, so can you allow us to submit the recommendation letters by ourselves, because it's too annoying when keep asking, reminding them regarding the submission deadline. We know, yes, this is a major friction point, not only for our university, but for several universities and programs, the fact that you have to ask the same referee to submit letters for different programs. Unfortunately, we can't. That has been discussed, but yeah, for graduate programs, they ask the applicants to include the contact details of the referees. They are contacted through our application system, and it doesn't take that much time, and they can they can use an existing letter that they have prepared for you and upload it to the system, and it doesn't take so much time. So just please remind them, okay? There is a question about the criteria for full scholarship for the master's degree with thesis. So I'm going to ignore that question, because we can send you the information in detail via email. So I'm going to put a slide before we finish today's webinar, so that you can see the website where you can see the criteria. And or email us. But the criteria, it's very similar to the admission requirements that I showed before. Okay. Okay, so we have a question here. One second. Whoops, it went up. Do you think to be a data scientist or data analyst, we should be great at logic, like in programming? That's for
Yeah. So you need to be good at programming, of course, because we are dealing with large scale data, and obviously you can't just look at the data by hand and eyes. You have to be good at programming computers to do that for you. Logic specifically, like classical mathematical logic, not really, but programming, definitely you need to be good at it. At least you need to be willing to learn it and learn it fast.
Okay, great. We have a question here of someone who has applied for computer science and data science. And they're asking if they can join on a self-finance basis. So if you have applied for data science, that's a non-thesis program. So actually, yeah, I mean, if you are admitted to the program, then you would be asked to pay the tuition for the program. For computer science and engineering, it's a thesis program, so you cannot let's say pay tuition for that program because all students are admitted with a scholarship. So again, the first step for both cases is that you should be admitted to the program based on the information and the documents that you provide. And with regards to English, again, you have a very specific question about your graduation degree, and I will kindly ask you to email us after today's webinar. There's another question. Is it important to know academic research methods before applying for this master's degree? That's for you, Professor.
It's like for this non-thesis data science program, it's not.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there any other certification that can be taken online in order to replace the GRE? Well, actually, the GRE is now offering an online home-based test option. If you're able, that in the sense that if it's available to take from your location and you have the necessary equipment for test, that you're not cheating basically on the test that they require, you may be able to take that online-based GRE test. Some applicants have applied also before with GMAT. That's not the preferred test for sciences and engineering, but if that's the only option you have, you could apply with that. And again, you may be asked to take the GRE if they're not sure about your qualifications as an applicant. There's another question here. Is there an ability to work as research assistant while doing my master's degree? For this program, I think not, because it's a non-thesis master.
Yeah.
Okay. Our master with thesis students in computer science and engineering and our PhD students, they do have to work as a research assistant as part of their duties as a student and part of their scholarship conditions. Do you have alumni with molecular biology or medicine background? Is it possible to focus more on bioinformatics with the courses provided?
So we have, so this program is relatively new, so we don't have an alumni in that field yet, but we have people with molecular biology background or even medical school background, currently enrolled in our program. Like we actually have like 2 doctors participating in our program. And we have faculty with bioinformatics research fields, and we have a bioinformatics course that's offered every other year, so to say. So it's definitely possible to focus on bioinformatics.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There is a question here about transcripts. So whether we can submit unofficial transcripts. We know the process specifically for Iranian candidates because we do have a lot of students from Iran, and we know that it's a lengthy process and that you have to pay for official ones. And the answer is yes, you can have the unofficial ones, but as you say, you need to present the official final transcripts from the university by the enrollment date. Okay, there's a question here. What can I do to increase my chance to be accepted in the program? So I will rephrase this question as what are the things that you're looking for in candidates for this program, Professor Barish?
So the entry barrier for the non-thesis program is lower than the thesis program. So we are looking for degrees that will give you some programming and math background, like information sciences, information technology, computer engineering, computer science. But we also accept like other engineering fields like mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, industrial engineering, even some sciences like physics or biology or chemistry. Depending on like your degree and your GPA and other exams, you sort of have like this mixed decision process, but it's not too rigorous. However, if you are applying from like political science, you have to show us you have some math and or programming background for us to admit you. So it's not like very sharp criteria, but if you have a engineering degree from a decent university with a decent GPA, and if you present us like above average TOEFL and GRE grades, you can definitely get in. So it's not too difficult to get into the non-thesis program. And for thesis program, the things change drastically.
There was a question related to that, which is if do you consider related verified online courses to strengthen the application? Like if they have taken, for example, programming or related courses that would help them to, cope with the courses, if those are considered a good thing for the application.
If the certificate is relevant, it would strengthen your application, yes.
Okay.
But I mean, they have to be relevant and from a known source.
Okay. Do you have examples that come to mind of relevant specific skills or programming languages or any specific knowledge that you think would like make a candidate stand out?
Yes, Python knowledge is we are teaching most like basic courses in Python now. So if you know Python, it's a huge plus. If you also have like certificates from linear algebra, probability, basic statistics, they don't have to be advanced. Intro level is fine. Calculus as well. These are also pluses. There are like nice certificate programs where they teach you Python, some programming skills like data structures, algorithms. So they are definitely a bonus.
Okay, thank you. There was a question here. Is there a maximum age in terms of application for master or PhD? No, we don't have any age limitation. There's a question here from a student in Lebanon who has graduated from an ABET and ACPSP accredited program that are taught in English. Is it possible to eliminate the need for an English proficiency exam? Unfortunately, no, because that requirement for all students to have an English proficiency exam is set at the national level in Turkey. So all graduate students should have in their files, to be admitted and enrolled as, not so much admitted, but to be enrolled and registered as a student in a graduate program, they should have an English proficiency exam if the program is taught in English. And this is something that the Turkish, regulating body for higher education checks for universities every year. When they audit the universities, they literally take sample student files and check that they all have their English proficiency exam. So if you don't have one right now, you can still apply without it, as I was explaining. But if you do decide to enroll, if you're accepted to the program, you should take an English proficiency exam. And again, we have different options. So whichever one is easier for you to take from Lebanon in terms of your budget and availability of seats, let's say. We have another question here. My undergraduate study is physics and I'm familiar with Python and C and some other programming language. Can I apply? I think based on Professor Barish's answers, yes, because you have done a science degree and you're familiar. So it's just demonstrating how you're familiar with those, okay? You can demonstrate that by showing that you took courses, either verified or not, or if you took them as part of your degree so that it shows on your transcripts, or if you have any type of certificate showing that, or projects or portfolio, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's what you would, Professor Barish, okay. We have a question here about the personal statement. What is more important for the personal statement? Academic experience and achievement, or personality and community impact?
So for the non-thesis program, it's a bit mixed. Like we want to see, why you want to do it. And since this is not like a totally an academic program, this is also an applied program, we are sort of looking for what you are going to do with your degree. So a bit community impact in there, of course, some, I mean, not in detail, but some things about your personality. And of course, if you're, for some reason, like transcript, GPA, or like your diploma topic is not extremely relevant, maybe some things about your academic achievement would help. But again, this is for this non-thesis program. For a thesis program, it would be more about the academic experience and academic ambitions, not only experience, but ambitions as well.
Okay. We have a question here, which is, can I apply for a master's in computer science and PhD and data science program together? I mean, yes, in the sense that our online application system doesn't limit you in terms of the number of programs that you can apply to. But what we recommend is that, you prepare specific, especially the motivation or the statement of purpose for each should be different in the sense that you should explain what's your motivation for a PhD versus a master's and versus data science, because they are, they meet different needs for you as a student in terms of your future career goals. That's what I can say about that.
Maybe one
so there is a
additional thing you
question
can
here. Yeah.
Just one clarification. You can apply to both, but you can only be admitted to one.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Okay, so there is someone here saying, I'm in my 7th semester in the Bachelor's of Computer Science with a specialization in AI. Can I apply from now, or should I wait for my degree completion? I will complete in June 2021. I mean, you can apply now, so you would have transcripts that cover until your current semester, is what I understand. If you think you would benefit from applying once you're in your 8th semester, so during your next spring semester, please do. But I think based on your bachelor's, I think Professor Barish, you can also comment on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can apply, but I think you should wait, because you can't be simultaneously enrolled here and there, because we would ask for your diploma when you are getting in, and since you don't have your diploma, we can't enroll you. So you can wait and apply later. And if you, for some other reason, for some special reason, you need to get a conditional acceptance, you can contact us like via email. We may be able to accept you and defer you, but I don't really see a specific need to do that. But there could be something. But it's okay if you wait.
Yeah. So if you're graduating in June 2021, what you can do is submit your application before, our applications also close around June usually for the Graduate School of Sciences and Engineering. So you have time until then to apply. Okay. Then how many hours per week is each course? Is it possible to work while studying?
So it's a regular courses take like 2.5 hours per week, and we have usually 14 weeks. Since you'll be taking, you'll have 3 semesters. Some people prefer to finish it in 2. If you finish it in 2, you'll have 5 courses per semester, 5 credit courses for semester. You have additional non-credit course and the project course. So that makes like 12 and a half hours per week. However, we are
maybe.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we are.
So I'm
This is just an example. Yeah, this is one example of curriculum. It says suggested, but it's more like example because we have so many courses. It's really difficult to suggest a specific one. We encourage you to build your own or ask us in helping you build one once you get it. About working, yes, you can. And we really try to record all the courses and we try to eliminate like attendance requirements. So you can attend if you want to, but if you miss, you can watch later. And as long as you do the homeworks and attend the exams, which are held online, and we will let you hold them online even if the pandemic ends. So you can do it while working. So it's not a problem from our perspective. However, the question is, will your job allow you to like attend 12 and a half hours per week plus to like studying, homeworks, etc., etc. But from our side, it's perfectly fine, and we actually encourage people to do it.
Okay. There is a question here whether they can get a master's degree in physical education, and the person is raising the hand, so I'm going to say no. Unfortunately, we do not offer physical education as a discipline at Koç University, either at the undergraduate or graduate level. You may want to check a website called studyinturkey.gov.tr, gov for government and TR for Turkey, because there you can find which universities are offering physical education as a degree. There is a question here about how to apply for a master's degree. So I said, I have a bachelor degree and I need to continue an academic path. What do I have to do to apply for a master's degree, or should I apply directly to a PhD program? That's a more general question, I think, about our computer science, I guess, options at Koç University.
Yeah, I mean,
but I guess if you want to continue.
I mean, it's up to you. Yeah, you can. I mean, it's totally up to you. Like you can directly apply to PhD. Of course, admission requirements for PhD are a bit higher than masters. And then also, like, do you want to directly jump into PhD or do you want to experience masters first? You can do masters in one university, then go to another university for PhD to get more diverse experience. So it's totally up to you. But both are fine if you need to be on the academic path.
Okay. We have another question here. It's submitting early a plus for the application.
For the non-master's thesis, it's not.
Yeah.
However, you will learn early. Like we reply in 2 weeks usually, or 3 weeks at most. So you'll know sooner, basically.
Okay. Then we have two very related questions from two different participants. One is asking, is the 2021 fall semester online, or does it totally depend on the pandemic? Yes, the answer is the second one. So it does depend on the pandemic. Our current fall semester is being taught online and offered online across all of our courses. The spring 2021, we're waiting to see the directive from the national government here in Turkey, not only for us, but for all universities and educational institutions. And of course, then for fall 2021, hopefully, we will be able to go back, not to normal, but to, the closest version of that we can. What I can say, because the next question is, will you continue giving online courses for the following semesters? We already had a very kind of, we were starting on the path of offering more, especially graduate programs online to meet the needs of working professionals. And now we do have the infrastructure to basically, as Professor Barish was saying, to record all of our classes so that, and the classes in all the courses, so that those students who wish to take the programs face-to-face on campus, they would have the ability to do so, but also those that would like to take them online they would be able to do that. There may be some requirements of coming for specific exams or maybe for some specific activities, but that's how we are seeing that we will be able to offer in the future semesters some of our graduate programs, including the Masters in Data Science. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Professor Barish.
No, I mean, one thing, like we want to record and like make everything available at each course, not just data science courses, but it's also dependent on the faculty members. And as you see, we have many courses. If some of them say no, then we can't really force them. However, like the main courses, especially computer courses, we are planning to record them. So I guess it's not going to matter too much if you can't come to campus, if that's the question. You'll be fine if even if we start campus teaching, if you're enrolled in this program, it will be okay if you can't make it to the campus.
Okay. There's a question here. What do I have to know in mathematics before applying to the Masters in Data Science? Is there a way of increasing my knowledge in maths, I guess, while I take the Masters?
So, like basics of linear algebra, probability statistics, calculus, preferably multivariable calculus, that will be fine as a start. Then we already have classes where you will learn more about the underlying math. And of course, you can increase your knowledge. You can take like math courses from Koc. We may not be able to, like, especially if they're undergrad courses, we will not be able to count them towards your master's degree, but you'll be able to take the courses to learn the material, or you can try to learn online, take courses, or study by yourself.
Okay. We have a question here, says for MBA students outside of Turkey with a background in mechatronics engineering, is it possible to collaborate with professors at Koc to do a joint thesis related to applying data science in the business world, such as advanced demand planning and forecasting?
You need to find the professor that's willing to do that. That's, the university doesn't care. Not that it doesn't care, but it doesn't restrict or force professors to do this. It's an academic collaboration and they are free to do it. The specific thing is you need to find the right person and convince the right person.
So what I would suggest,
No, go ahead, please, Ms. Abachi.
That you might want to check our Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Management. You can find the faculty member profiles both in our Graduate School of Sciences and Engineering website and also in our Graduate School of Business website. And you can check their profiles and see which professors are working specifically on the topic of advanced demand planning, forecasting in different, apply to different industries as well. Okay, let's see. Do we have any other questions? If you're thinking about them, you can, we still have about 15 minutes for today. Whilst you're thinking of any other questions, I just also want to say we have another webinar related to our Masters in Data Science next week on December 10th, which we're going to be giving a sample lecture of our Intro to Deep Learning course with Professor Denise. So, you will see the details on our website as well and our social media channels. In the meantime, I'm going to, just so that you know, we have also recently launched an artificial intelligence laboratory in cooperation with İşbank. It's one of the largest banks here in Turkey. So you can also visit the website. You can see it there. It's ai.ku.edu.tr. If that's a specific area that you're interested in, we have fellowships which are for a PhD in computer science and engineering for admitted students. There is Okay, there's a valid question here. I think why in this webinar there is a focus in master without thesis. Is this the scope of this webinar, or I misunderstand something? Yes, the scope of this webinar is our master non-thesis in data science. We will be organizing other webinars in the future to present our overall kind of master with thesis and PhD programs in the Graduate School of Sciences and Engineering. We will be talking about all the programs that I showed at the earlier today, that will be hosted by the director of our Graduate School of Sciences and Engineering. If you want to watch content related to that, we also have an existing webinar recording on our YouTube channel that you can watch, in which we talk about the admission requirements for theses, master programs, and our PhD programs. You can find that here. I'm showing now our screen where you can see our contact details, both for the Graduate School of Sciences and Engineering. You can see the website, Instagram, LinkedIn, and if you visit again our international admissions channels, you will be directed to the YouTube channel there, so you can see it there. Okay. There's a question here. Are there AI machine learning research centers at Koc University? Yes, I think that's exactly the one I showed before. Let me put that back here. Then you can see what are the topics of, I mean, Professor Barish can talk more about this than me. If you want to talk a little bit about the AI lab, that would be great.
Sure. We have like 13, 14 core faculty that is, working actively within the lab, and we have more than 30, including the core faculty, 30 affiliated faculty. This spans all of our engineering fields, including chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, like in chemical engineering, energy or like refinery applications, mechanical engineering, like smart materials, manufacturing, robotics, electrical engineering, video, sound, audio processing, smart signal processing. In computer engineering, we have a lot of faculty, like predominantly on machine learning, including computer vision, many applications from autonomous vehicles to medical image analysis. Again, robotics and computer engineering, intelligent robotics, natural language processing, deep learning, more deep learning and machine learning theory, bioinformatics. This spans both computer engineering and industrial engineering. Let's see, what else do we have? I'm trying to think. More like applying machine learning to cybersecurity. How do you do like safe machine learning against adversaries, or how do you do machine learning without showing your data? Maybe you've heard of like federated learning. On the medical side, as I said, medical image analysis, like well-being or general monitoring using smart sensors like smart watches, smartphones. We have a augmented reality lab at Koc. It's not this lab, but there are collaborations of how do you put AI in augmented reality and virtual reality. Let's see, like people collaborate with the design departments, like arts departments as well. Nowadays, people are starting collaboration in economics, management, even social sciences. We have, I think, 2 large ERC projects in social sciences, and at least one of them, no, I think both of them are doing stuff with AI and machine learning. So it's like whatever you can imagine, we are likely to do it across the entire university. I mean, unless it's a very niche field, we probably have somebody working on that or something similar in that field. So don't worry about it. We have a very broad and deep research background in AI.
We have a question here about what about reinforcement learning? Could I find a specialist in DRL?
Like I would be the most relevant person, but depending on if you want to do reinforcement learning for natural language processing or deep reinforcement learning for image processing, We have other professors in general. That's me. I do reinforcement learning for robots.
So I hope that answers the question. Again, you can find the details of all of our faculty members in the Department of Computer Engineering, and you will see which ones are part of the data science program and our other computer science and computer engineering programs on the Graduate School of Sciences and Engineering website, which you can see there. It's gsse.ku.edu.tr. Are there any other questions? I see there's some of you maybe typing. I think we haven't had any questions from participants in Turkey. I don't know if you're shy today, but okay. Okay. If there are no other questions, or if you're thinking of a question, please raise your hand and I can see there might be a raised hand and we can wait a bit. If not, then I think we're going to close today's webinar. We hope it has been useful in terms of answering your questions. Please, contact us if you have any further questions. And I want to thank again Professor Barış Agun for his time today. It's a bit late on a Friday here in Turkey. We have now a new set of curfews over the weekend, so I hope we haven't taken too much from your, from your free time before the curfew starts. And I hope all of you, wherever you are, that you're healthy and that you stay well, and hopefully that we will see your applications for our Masters in Data Science, either for spring or fall 2021. So I don't see any other raised hands or any other questions. So with that, I'm going to close the chat and say goodbye. Professor Barish, if you want to say any parting words.
No, thanks for participating, and we would love to hear from you. Feel free to email us and just apply. Not that sometimes we get that question, but I think it's obvious now. Applying is free, so you can just apply and try your luck.
Exactly. Okay. So with that, we're going to close today's session. So thank you very much for joining us today. Bye-bye.